Welcome back to another episode of the Life Wide Open podcast with the usual cast, Ryan, CJ, myself, and Ben.
Howdy.
Hey, guys. We have a merch drop coming this Thursday. It's going to be big, red, white, and blue. As you could probably guess, we'll get more into that later. Rich has finally finished the track. He's back at home. We've hit it. It is unreal. It's the craziest time I've ever spent
in the air for a long period of time.
Mike's going pro.
Mike, you are an absolute animal.
Dude, it was
You're
so
a hidden wheel man, dude.
fun. Yeah, I guess.
I love that a week ago we had to draw straws who had to hit the jump in the razor. And now Mike is just a hidden wheel man and in launching these jumps, dude.
I've maybe seen one jump as big as our biggest jump that Mike hit today, and he was just hitting that like nothing.
Taking laps.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like...
I don't know if I've seen a side-by-side jump that big. Well,
besides
Florida,
the
when I almost died.
Tabletop. Yeah, that
Yeah, that's the only one that was maybe comparable.
And that one was like really big, but that one had a nasty... Remember the lip on the landing? Like if you didn't make it.
Which we almost didn't.
Yeah, which is just bad. But this one, luckily... I was watching the videos back, though. Like, how far can you clap the suspension? Or actually, how many times can you do what I did?
Just frame it out?
I don't know. You were literally
all
to
of
the
them.
frame.
It was to the point where the whole suspension was maxed out, but then the tires started cambering in.
I think we need to put like another set of wheels on the bottom in the middle. So like when you go down, there's like more suspension underneath because you're literally like scrubbing.
I was cracking up because, Evan, we bring him out there, and he's fully geared up from the moment that we're trying to film the Canadips brand deal, and then we're trying to take a thumbnail. Like this whole 9 yards, he ends up just sitting there in his gear for like 2 hours out in the hot sun. Dude. He's like wondering when he's gonna go ride
because he wanted to get back and mow. He was all hot and heavy over getting lawn mowed,
and then Mike just ends up and coming out and stealing the show. And then, anyways, we're like walking back, and I was kind of trolling him. I slightly feel bad about it, but I was just like, man, I think Mike's really got some potential. It's just me and Evan walking across the track, and he's just like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I think we need to like enter him in some races, like get behind him, sponsor him, like let's get him out there because I think he's got a chance. And Evan's just kind of like, yeah, yes,
And then we were getting shots of Evan.
I thought that was here for.
It's like he's not even riding a dirt bike.
I'm like, no, racing dirt bikes, everything.
Yeah, we were getting shots of Evan wheeling across the field, and CJ just goes, honestly, I think the move is to have Micah do it.
I know. But Evan was confused, and I'm like, dude, maybe we just have Mike do it.
Like on your bike, Evan. But
and he just stares at us and he goes,
he did. Okay. He did mention that though. He was like, dude, I could have gotten the lawn done in the 2 hours I've been sitting out here.
Poor dude.
Yeah.
The lawn.
Yeah.
Just gets his job stolen as like being the best dirt biker. And that's what I was joking at. Is like, I think Mike's the best rider now. Like, let's have him do it. And
he's the
like,
guy.
well, what the hell? I thought that was me.
Dude,
Mike,
I mean,
I want to take this moment to tell you that I'm very proud of you.
Thanks.
Same.
Now that I have that unlock, I feel good, obviously. I feel really good. But for the record, like for the rest of the crew, I think we still might have to draw straws.
No, I would have no problem hopping in it.
Now?
But Ryan was having none of that shit.
Dude,
he was having none of that.
Listen, I almost died once, and I was like, "Okay, I really didn't like that." Then I went around, and the Rays was making a ton of clickety-clacky noises, and I go,
That's just what it does.
I know.
I think one of us
They're launching it 40 feet in the air and coming down flat. It'll sometimes start to make some weird noises.
That was before.
Yeah, I launched it like 32 feet and came up really short. But then I have a bad run in, I pull out. So I'm already like on the second one, I'm bad vibes all around. And I come in, I'm ready to go, and Ken's going.
Ken was freaking out.
Like there was a whole orphanage of babies at the end of the jump. Like everyone's life, like there was a kitten like walking across. It was like this dire need for me to stop. And I went, hit the brakes. I went, something actually was happening to the Razor. So I pull off the track, and I'm like, I'm done. And he goes, sorry, I just had to get the camera going. Very nice of you.
Yeah, I was going to say, in Ken's defense, like, if
Totally.
something bad would have happened and we didn't have it on camera, it would have really
bad.
sucked.
But I just got iced, And I was like, I am done. Mike is coming back with his helmet right now. Like, let's just let him do it. And it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, Mike put on a clinic today. He is no longer Pit Bike Mike. He's Moto Mike. Don't ever call him Pit Bike Mike again. He doesn't deal with that little kid shit.
Dude, it's also
He's
so
a pro
funny
rider.
how like scared I still was. Ben's like, Mike, you just want to do it? And I'm like, and I've jumped the gap jump like at this point 20 times, and I'm still like, I just literally looked you in the eyes. I was like, not really. I had the adrenaline rush of a lifetime yesterday. But I'll do it. And then I was driving and I was like, why am I nervous? I should concentrate on having fun. And then it all let loose.
You know, this track is actually big when we can clear the SEMA truck by like 3 feet.
Yeah.
And that's not even like the biggest jump.
That's like the medium jump, yeah.
With the razor.
With the razor.
Yeah.
That was the skeptical part too. Evan was clearing the SEMA truck with the dirt bike, but we were a little skeptical about the razor.
Well, the last giveaway dirt bike winner was out while we were doing the first test hit of the gap on the razor. And anyways, we were riding our previous, well, it's still our current, but our pit bike track that we've had for a while now. And the giveaway winner was out there and his friend, and both of them looked at me and go, you know, these jumps are a lot bigger in person. I go, yeah, I know. Kind of sucks. They look so small on camera, because they were like, on video, I'm like, oh, I'd hit those, whatever. But they ended up kind of just hanging tight.
Yeah, it made me feel a little better. Like the one time we visited the Palmer compound, and they were like, yo, for the record, these are small jumps. Like, they're not big jumps. No matter what you say, they're not big jumps. And we're like, yes, they are.
Everyone's got a different definition of what a big jump is to them. And a jump can be big, but if you hit it like 3 times and you get the comfortable hitting it, then it's just like whatever. But you show up and you have no idea how to do it, and everyone else is just sending it and not telling you. You're like, oh,
that's
fuck.
really what it is. I wonder if there's like a word for that. But basically, before you hit all the jumps in the razor, whatever you're on, it's scary. It's terrifying. You don't want to do it. You finally do it, and even it takes one time, and you're like, that was easy. Yeah.
That was easy, Mike. Did you ever think you would be airing it out like you were today and yesterday?
No, dude, I don't. I gotta shout out. Shout out
don't.
Rich for those jumps because they're perfect, and honestly, shout out Polaris because like I don't think our Maverick would have even lasted.
I know.
We all said the same thing. Like the Maverick
made it to
would
the
have
jump.
broken on the first. Like that double. We'd have been like, all right, time to hit the double. And then like 10 tries in and the Maverick would have broken.
It would have broke looking at the jump.
On our pit bike track.
Yeah.
Like this was some serious, validation at how well built that razor is. And just the suspension. It's factory stock suspension. And it's just, some of the biggest jumps.
Yeah. So if anyone was like, I want to get a 4-seater Turbo S. And jump it. I before all that, I'd be like, no way, don't do that. Get some agile, but it's amazing.
Man, it's the magic school bus. That thing flies.
Yeah, we should
It
call
flies
it that.
great, dude.
That is
It's so
good.
level. I almost wonder if you're better off with the 4-seater.
It's a good question. So yeah, we're stoked on the track. There was a lot of money, a lot of hours, a lot of everything to make what we made even. And I know your guys' uncle with one eye can do better, but it's sick.
But our Uncle Rich with both eyes, he did a dang good job.
Did a dang good job.
And he's a professional.
I always get such a kick out of people commenting really on any type of video that we make that they're like, yeah, my friend's dad has a way faster car, or my uncle's Mustang could wax that Camaro. It's like, dude, who fucking asked?
But also, I doubt it. Half the time. I think they're just talking out their ass.
Maybe.
Well,
And then occasionally you get the dude and he's like, oh yeah, I've got a really fast car. We should race. And then I'm like, okay, yeah. What are you driving? A minivan? He goes, yeah, I got a built drag setup Fox body Mustang. It's got like 1,200 horsepower. And you're like, oh, you weren't kidding. I was like, no, we shouldn't race because you'll just wax me.
There's like so many levels to it. There's that when they have the legit machines and they're either being haters or they're like, nah, dude, I just genuinely think I could beat that thing. Sick car, whatever. But then there's also the kids. These ones you can get actual entertainment out of when the kid's like, dude, you have a 600? I have an 1100 turbo. And it's like talking about the Arctic Cat trail sled. And he's just like, yeah, it goes 100. And it's just like, that is just the beauty of a kid not understanding.
I'm pretty sure I told somebody that my snowmobile goes 200 miles an hour when I was a kid because Skidoos go to 200 kilometers. I'm sure
Exactly,
I told.
it's stuff like
I'm
that.
sure I told Ken's older brother, oh yeah, my snowmobile goes 200. He's like, brother, that is a 600. It's not. It is not.
Dude, do you guys remember back in the day when we film at Jake's all the time and that little kid, Dylan, would come over?
Oh,
Dylan.
And
I miss that kid, man. What do you think he's up to?
dude, I don't know.
Probably
He's
in jail.
I haven't thought
No.
about him in so long, but man, we have a lot of memories with Dylan.
And I'm sure he's like grown up now, but let's say he was like 12. Just remember when he came up to us on his little 90 or 120 four-wheeler and he told us, he's like, yeah, I can backflip it. And so then, of course, instead of just going, nah, we're just like, well, hell yeah, let's see it. And then he's like, I'll have to find a spot. And he's like jumping over the road, just like halfway over the road, being like, maybe here or something. And I'm like,
Could you imagine, buddy?
We just
hucks
let him
out.
do it.
Yeah,
too.
no
We're like,
kidding.
go for it right now. He just ends up
Do it.
landing on himself.
Isn't it crazy how some people can just be compulsive liars and just not even smile?
or yeah, just not even be phased by it and then jump themselves right into another tall tale.
No, I know. And it's like some people just never grow out of it. Like they just never stop lying about shit that does not matter.
And those
Ken
are,
back there right now is trying so hard to be quiet about you lying about your trolls. I know that's not what you meant.
trolling.
That is 100% different. Because that's me messing with somebody.
That's true.
Deliberately, when
Deliberately.
most people know around you.
I know.
But like just being a compulsive liar about things that are like, why would you lie about that?
I sometimes will throw in a lie to make it convenient, you know, to avoid explaining something or to just like steer the story one way, and it's never usually not harmful.
Yeah.
But you're talking about people who are just like, yeah, they're just pulling stuff right out of their ass and they don't even know it.
That's so true, though. Like the convenience side of things. Okay, I'm at an appointment for my eyes this morning, and she's like, doing anything for the rest of the day? And
No.
I was just like, nope. I didn't want to be like, yeah, I'm actually going to go back. We just built this dirt bike track, and we're going to,
That's me.
we
That's
plan on
me
hitting some
over-explaining
big
myself.
senders off of it. And then afterwards, maybe, hopefully we get a little rain, and then we can play in our pond and like all these
Yeah.
things. And yeah, I just avoid it
That
at
is
all
funny.
times. I don't know if you guys do the same, but it's just like so much easier to just not tell anyone like ever what we're doing, because it just makes no sense most of the time.
This
Yeah.
might be kind of a hot take, but what do you guys think is the correct response to a quick, how you doing?
Good.
I've been working on that because I think we're just at the pub eating before this, and it was like this guy, he was just the most basic small talk. It was just like, hey, how you doing? Good. How are you? Good. Yeah. How you been doing? And then he just doubles down on it, like, ah. And then it was this. And then
pretty
after
good.
that, it was like, what you up to? And he's just like, "Psst, getting food, getting drinks, and that is my
What are you
response
doing
to
here?
the what are you up to? But
Do you
yeah.
guys foresee a future that like small talk doesn't exist, or is it one of those things that you're actually going to
talking
have to
about this.
deal with
It's a
for the
fundamental
rest of your life?
of society to make it work, dude.
I have a love-hate relationship with it, I guess. Then
Because I was thinking about that the other day too. I was like, man, you see somebody, it's just almost nicer to just not see anyone that you know
I
when you're out and
know.
about.
I know.
I was like
To bother
shopping.
them.
I was like getting supplies for something at Menards, and I was like, man, I just really hope I do not see somebody I know right now and just have to make pointless small talk.
It was like the other day when I go into TJ's to go get dinner by myself, and I walk in, I see some people over at this area. I'm like, okay, they're going to try to talk to me. Let's see what's over in the back. I get over to the back. Some people go, ooh, TJ, hey, how's it going? I'm like, hey, keep walking. Get to the patio. Same thing. People there. I go, frick.
man, you were so popular.
No, I'm not really popular.
So popular.
We just live in a small town, and you know all these people are going to start talking across to you and all this. And I did not want to deal with that. I wanted to just sit on my phone,
Hey.
as bad as that sounds, and
it's-
just
yeah.
hide.
Is that wrong?
It-
you know, like,
Honestly, I just didn't want to talk to people. I
and we're
was
talking
not in the mood.
being YouTuber or whatever aside. We're talking in our small town of Cormorant. Even I like did that today at L&M Fleet. I saw someone and I like saw them pushing their cart, and I was like, he's probably gonna say hi to me. Dipped it. Next aisle.
Next time.
But if you
yeah.
catch me in the right mood, I'm like,
talking.
where's everyone at? Like, I want to
Yeah,
go over
true.
there and bullshit with them, you know?
That's true. Basically, if you have time on your hands.
So are you an extrovert or introvert when you're like that? Or are you both?
Shoot.
I mean, I feel like we're all pretty extroverted because we're on different parts of the scale, but we're all pretty extroverted because we talk all day. And that's why I think, like, you get to dinner and you're like, all right, I have been talking to my friends and business partners nonstop since 9 a.m. I've been making plans. I have been doing this. I've been chatting with a camera. I've been doing a podcast.
I just want to scroll.
I'm done. I feel that way when I get home sometimes. I'm like, I'm sorry. I just need a TV. Yeah, I'm sorry, Alondra. I love you. You're great. I just need silence for like an hour. And then you just recharge your social battery and then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or there's like the instance, it's really funny when we all go out to eat, when we're all on our phones, but and when we're all collectively like shameless about it. It's so funny because we did.
Everyone thinks we're so goofy for that, but I'm like, dude, I literally have sat around these guys all day for the past 5 years.
Yeah. So
5 years.
And it'd be funny to actually just respond like that. But every once in a while, people are like, dude, literally, you guys are just not even speaking to each other.
Yeah.
You don't know the half of it.
What else am I going to say to this guy?
Isn't that funny how you can be with somebody like me and you are in the truck together, bro? We could go 8 hours without saying a single word to each other, and it wouldn't be awkward.
It wouldn't
at all.
No. Comfortable
but
silence.
Then me and somebody
like a high school friend, that wouldn't be cool.
Well, I was gonna just say like someone that you're like kind of
That'd be
homies
very
with.
Awkward.
You literally drive from here to the track.
Yeah, they're like, yo, can I just hop in with you?
You're like trying to think of like a conversation, like something to say the tide over the time from here to here, just so it's not awkward.
I hate consciously having to think of what to say. Like if you have to sit there and use your brain power to think of something to say just because it's awkward, not even gonna. I try.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like it's only awkward if you make it awkward, but realistically, if you just generally speaking, if you sit in the car and don't say anything, it's kind of awkward.
Yeah,
whether you think it or not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If I was going out to eat and I was with my family or some people I don't know, I wouldn't pull my phone out and just sit there and scroll. Like I would talk and make do with the time that we are together.
I always wonder how people do that when they just belly up to the bar, because most people that belly up to the bar and they just sit there for like hours on end and like have people coming and going next to them. I'm like, man, how do these guys just make small talk with like the bartender or Joe sitting next to you or
and then
Tom
Joe
and Harry
leaves,
and then Tom and Harry that are just swinging through to grab their.
I think some people like look for a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
And that's
a lot
why
of
they're
people
there.
that need
100%.
They maybe don't have a job. They're working alone at a desk and they don't really get to talk to people. So then at the end of the day, even if they love their job, they're just excited to have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, that is probably that makes way more sense versus somebody that's like kind of like antisocial and them sitting there.
It reminds me of Rich.
Yeah,
like,
Rich.
I honestly felt bad for Rich, but this is also what he does. But he's in the dozer all day for like 10 hours a day, just by himself. The only time he talks to us is when he maybe stops and we come up and we're like, hey, like, do you want some food or like a water or something? But it's like he's relatively alone. So and he loves to talk, but he's also really good at talking. Like he's fun to talk to. But he comes in, he's just chatting it up, and like that's his time. Like I remember I was gonna leave, and he's like, "Dude, I've been in the dozer all day. Hang out with me." I was like, "You're right. I should hang out with you." So then I hung out with him. But
that's why I loved having Evan around, because obviously Evan's staying here, and Evan loves to talk. And he's
Evan's another one of those guys.
I was gonna say
everyone gets along with him.
Evan makes friends with every person that we introduce him to. And you know how many times I've just brought Evan along? Like when we were building the lawnmower at Zach's house, my buddy Zach, shout out Zach. I brought Evan with, and halfway through I go, oh shit, I'm going to go look at a house real quick that's just like down the way a little bit, so I'll be back in an hour. And I leave Evan there after meeting Zach like 20 minutes, and I come back, and they are just boys. They both got like some beers and stuff, and like I'm like, oh, you guys made friends. Okay, good.
I'm not surprised by that, just because typically the people we hang out around are pretty easy to get along with.
True.
Yeah,
makes sense. Especially those two, they had a lot in common.
That's something I love about him. He can strike up a conversation with anyone. I think the most interesting thing about Rich is his little stint with Jake Paul.
Yeah.
He was like Jake Paul's right-hand man, and he was like building all these things
No
for
one really
him.
knows. I don't know how public that is, but he wouldn't mind us saying it.
Yeah.
And building all these things around his house
But
and
then
like
it
fixing
got-
his pool
Then,
and
yeah,
like
then it got
any
to be
issue
more
he
than
had.
building. It got to be
Yeah.
more than building. Like,
And then he was just his plug. Like anything he wanted or needed, Rich has just got like these connections. That's basically all you need in
Yeah.
life is you just need to have like enough connections to just
Yeah.
be useful to your
Everybody.
homies, and then everyone is just like,
He's like still
This guy's
pretty
the
in
man.
touch with them. Like I guess Greg Paul and him like chat every now and then pretty frequently.
and then he was like, "Yeah, they literally called me the plug," and I was like, "Oh, we actually have a buddy, Rob. We call him Rob the Plug." And so I just encourage if you don't have a plug in your life, you need to find one because it's good.
Whether it's
Someone that just helps you out with anything.
that or even a butt plug.
Mike's got a couple plugs.
He's got one in right now.
Mm.
Sorry. You know what's funny though? In hockey, they always said, like if you got called a plug, it was like a bad thing.
Oh, okay.
I never quite understood it. Like,
I feel like that'd be a good
You
name for the
plug?
goalie.
but nowadays that's like such a positive thing. Like if someone told, like,
What,
yeah,
what,
CJ,
what
you're
was the
plug.
context of it
Yeah,
to be
what-
like
I
a
don't know,
diss?
buddy, you fucking plug. Like I don't know. That's like
Okay.
something they would say, but I don't get it.
It's a
quite frankly.
derogatory term.
Maybe like you're just filling a spot. I don't know. How dumb.
Yo.
Most of those terms are dumb.
Bringing up hockey, I've never asked this question. Did you ever get in hockey fights?
Not really. No,
Really?
I didn't.
Like before your conkeys, though?
no, you couldn't fight people.
He was in
High school?
Pee-wees.
No,
You
you,
could ne-
couldn't drop the gloves or anything like
You
that.
couldn't?
No.
But you never got into any kind of hockey fight.
I mean, you'd get in like a little scuffle in front of the net or like on your own, but it would always get broken up.
So
Like
if
they
you-
don't let it go.
So if you drop your gloves in high school,
You'd
it's not like
get
a
a penalty,
3-minute
dude.
penalty. It's more of
You'd
like
probably
a
get thrown out,
suspended
honestly.
for the game.
Probably, yeah.
sort of
They'd
thing,
be like,
yeah.
"What the hell are you doing, dude?" Like you would look like the biggest idiot.
if you drop the gloves, what if you both drop the gloves?
You both
Pretty
look
legit.
dumb.
What do you mean?
Really?
Isn't that
It's
kind
like
of
I think
NHL?
like
if you both dropped it, I'd be like,
I think they're slightly pulling back actually on like hockey fighting. So they used to in hockey they would have an enforcer on like each team, and I'm sure they still probably do. But like the enforcer's job was literally they were just the fourth liner. They sit on the bench and they go out when it's like time to fight someone to like
so sick.
either
That
get
is-
the team going or like maybe someone played a dirty hit on somebody, so they go out and like lay a hit on them or fight somebody. You know?
What?
Yeah.
That's so
But
sick.
A lot of those enforcers are like pretty messed up in the head now.
I'm sure they just went
Because
out
they
there
just kept
and
getting like
gotten
they had to
fights.
keep getting punched basically and whatever, and they do that like week after week or
So what would
How-
you say is more common for head injuries? Someone like that who's a fighter or someone who's getting like checked and checking? I know it goes kind
I
of
think
hand in
fighters
hand,
is
but
probably the biggest, but I think, and I'm not like a professional on this, but I think actually, obviously boxers and stuff like that, but linemen for football, although it's not always the hardest of hardest hits, it's not like major collisions,
Repetition.
but it's repetition of like head on. But I mean, nowadays, if you drive by like a high school and you look at like their high school football team practicing, they have like pads on top of their
I saw
helmets.
that.
Really?
And I think they're just people are a lot smarter now. Like you're not out in practice running into each other head on
Doing
like they
Oklahoma
used
drill.
to. You know, yeah. At least I don't think they are in most places. I would assume not. You know, they've smartened up.
Dude, it was like that for years. Practice
know.
where the big kids like, well, I'm still gonna cream the
Yeah,
kids half my size. It's fun.
yeah. You
I'm
just get
talking about
knocked,
creaming kids,
dude.
Mike.
Mike,
Sorry.
come on, man.
Where's your not mean to?
Where is your brain at this podcast, man?
It was on
Butt
football
plugs?
until right now, and it was on helping other people. And then CJ brought up butt plugs.
Yeah, fuck.
Imagine
Shit.
how nervous you'd be if you're like a first liner. You're a good hockey player. And you kind of hit somebody a little dirty, and you see some dude from the way bottom of the bench come
That
out and just start
happens, yeah.
eyeing you, and you're just like, I am so.
Well, then your team has an enforcer too, but
Yeah,
I don't
fair
really
enough.
know like I never played where you had an enforcer on your team, but yeah, I mean, if you played a dirty hit, you'd have a hit on your back for the rest of the game or until you got clobbered.
I was really hoping you were gonna be like,
No.
yeah, man, used to get in hockey fights all the
No,
time.
Not really, no. When we were kids, They had this thing called locker boxing. So you would put like you would wear your jock strap and your hockey gloves, which are kind of like boxing gloves, and then your helmet. And you would go in the locker room and like, you know, there's benches and whatever. And whoever you were locker boxing, you would just fucking tee off on each other. And like people would get seriously hurt, like knocked out and stuff. Or I never saw anyone get
was
like.
Was that from beef? Or was that like how you settle beef?
It would be like sometimes two kids hate each other, so they would do that. Or
sometimes the tough guys.
Two kids that maybe aren't like super good, but and also kind of not cool amongst the locker room or whatever. And then they would end up fighting each other. Sometimes
why to get like clout?
Just try to like get some notoriety.
Right.
But it would normally happen when there was like tryouts going on. I always noticed, or whatever. But I never did any of that.
Locker boxing.
I bet you love that shit though. I could totally see CJ in the corner with his world star.
No, you couldn't. By the time like I was old enough to locker box, everyone had phones and whatever.
No recording.
And there was rules for no recording because you put that shit anywhere, you would actually get in trouble. I think you could get kicked out of hockey because it was like a serious thing. Like, no, I never watched. I guess like a couple kids maybe got like kind of fucked up. Like they definitely had a concussion. There was never any serious traumas, but I remember hearing within like the hockey community where like there would be instances where someone would get really hurt locker boxing, and like there's definitely some Facebook pages of moms against locker boxing, which at the time sounded ridiculous, but it makes total sense now.
There was a locker boxing thing at my school. One of them wasn't
Did you guys
even
have a hockey team?
No, we didn't even have a hockey team.
But you can
and one of the
box
kids
it.
wasn't
Ryan
even
went to a private school.
Yeah, so this was a big deal, dude. Like we had there was the basketball team was there, the football team was there. It was legit.
It was always like a serious
An
riot.
event.
Like
It was
there's
an event.
anticipation. They're on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's standing on the benches. You put the bags on the side. Like it's.
Oh, so yeah, we didn't do that. So they like fought for a while, then they kind of got tangled up.
Were they wearing gloves?
Gloves, we didn't do it with just jock straps because that sounded a little too much. But they did helmets, and
But
then
they took off their uniforms, their private school
They
uniforms.
took off their collared shirts.
Yo, no locker boxing in uniform.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so they got tangled up, and then he kind of got like thrown over the bench into the lockers, and then he got really messed up.
Dude,
It was a riot.
I remember this one poor kid, and he was a really nice guy, but he just wasn't very good at hockey, but he wanted to be cool, or I don't know. He just wanted people to like him. And he locker boxed this kid, and he definitely got like conkied. And it was before the tryout. So then he had to go out on the ice, and like we were skating laps, and he was slow because he was like heavier. This is in high school, and this kid that was like faster, we had to skate these laps, and I don't know why, but he was in his way, and he like pushed him, like kind of like on his lower back, and he ended up falling forward and like literally putting his head into the fucking net, which is like posted like the post. It was bad, dude. Like he sent the net into the boards. It was this big collision, and like that kid, honestly, I don't think he's ever been the same. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's like it's not funny, but it is kind of funny.
It's not. It's just funny.
Like I remember at the time being like, "Holy shit, that was bad."
Yeah,
I was
what
in like
happened
the 10th
before.
grade, and I was like, "Jeez."
You
That
just-
kid ended up getting cut and everything. Like, it was all for nothing. Like, dude. Regardless whether you get cut or not, it was all for nothing. But I just remember that one being a tough one. I felt bad for him, but it was funny.
Because you knew what
the
just
net
happened.
made such a noise, and like people stopped skating. Like I look over, I'm like, this guy again, and he's like, fucking, like, bro.
CJ, CJ, like
I'm trying
legit.
to figure out why Ben thinks this is so funny.
It's just the situation is not funny at all. But seeing CJ explain
Yo,
it,
it's
not funny at all.
I know
I
he wants to
remember
laugh
it.
so hard.
If I hadn't experienced a traumatic concussion, I would be laughing.
No, there's
and
nothing-
it was very funny at the time, but like nowadays, like I
CJ
can understand. I don't think that's funny.
He skates up to him and goes, "Damn, I was rooting for you too, kid."
No, I don't even know what they did with that.
Oh,
But
bro.
yeah, dude. Frick.
Dude, I'm like super stoked to hear that you guys had locker room events. Let's call them locker room events because we didn't have locker boxing, and this is only during gym class. But we had wars. They were
wars. Okay, so wars. We had events. Holly had wars.
Yeah, but it was basically like an event. More like a dodgeball. Like you pick teams. You have two sides. First of it started with axe. Axe wars.
Oh, yep.
That one got old fast. You do that like 2-3 times, you get yelled at, and it's like, all right.
Whole place smells like shit.
But then we started having war. There's a middle area of lockers, and then lockers, bench, and then we started just having wars where you just chuck shit over. It was the best. It was like the littest time I've ever had in gym. Trash cans, basketball, soccer balls,
trash cans.
Yeah, like the little the bins.
Where are the teachers?
Not in the locker room.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then we were throwing garbage bins over, basketballs, volleyballs. Then you get axe cans. Got to be careful for those bags, big bags, and then you also got to be careful when people are throwing locks.
Heavy shit.
Oh shit!
Couple
Kids
locks
just don't
get
have
chucked,
any.
bro. You can't get domed with a padlock, bro.
You can, but it's
yeah.
not gonna be good.
So luckily, no one did. And then
That's that you know of.
straight up, this is after we've had hosted a few events. I remember one of my buddies would always legit make Kool-Aid. He'd fill a pitcher up and then pour Kool-Aid in it and make Kool-Aid for the events. I don't know why, but he's like, we got Kool-Aid. We had speakers in there. We always had speakers. Always had loudspeakers. But then one day, the principal, there was this room that was locked in there that the doors open in half. I don't know why. But anyway, he was hiding in there looking. He wasn't creeping on us. I can tell you that. He wasn't doing that. But he's looking through the crack, just witnessing what we're doing. And I think we had one of these wars or something.
And you were all naked.
No.
Just Mike.
No. One maybe could imagine, but no. Why has Mike got his clothes off? But
that's what the principal
he
is probably
comes out
watching.
dude, it was he comes out and we're just like, whoa, what are you, whoa, and we're like, whoa, it's the principal.
What are you doing in here?
And then we kind of were taken aback, but he's just like, what are you guys doing? Because we just got done thrashing every possible inch of the place.
How do teachers not swear at kids? How does he not walk in there and go, guys, what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's no way I could ever work in the school system because there's no way I could ever not see a child doing something. I'm being like, yo, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I just have such a potty mouth.
Yeah.
I think kids are getting worse nowadays, is at least what
especially
I hear.
with language, verbally.
Well, that's minor stuff, dude. I think
no,
whatever
kids are
I'm saying the
actually,
stuff they're doing, dude.
Bro, these kids are straight up just throwing parties now. Back when I was in high school, which wasn't that long ago, 4-5 years ago now, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't really
Dude, if there was a party and somebody was even the DD for it, kicked out of all the sporting events, everyone knew, it spread like wildfire. Now it's if you're not at these parties, you're a loser.
I think it goes in
how
waves.
does that? You think?
I think it goes in waves. I've noticed this because the kids above me drank. Then all the younger kids were like, we saw all those kids drinking. We don't want to do that. Nobody drank. Kids after me drank. Same with your class. Your class was all nobody drink, all this stuff till you're 21. I remember nobody would. Kids younger did. Probably the kids older did too. It's just it goes in waves. You see what the other kids are doing. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is definitely a thing that you see in schools. We didn't have the grade above us crazy. They had they did the whole thing, and then our grade had a group of 10 out of the 70 or 80 people that were there.
I think it's just whatever the cool kids are doing, or
whatever
they deem acceptable.
Yeah, whatever.
If they're
they
drinking
say cool.
is
Not
not cool, then everyone's like, oh shit, drinking's not cool.
Yep.
But if the cool kids are you're a loser if you're not drinking.
That's
then,
what I mean.
yeah.
And it just goes
Makes
in
sense.
waves.
Yeah.
It just goes in waves.
Before we get off the locker room topic,
Yeah, I was wondering if you had any stories.
dude, I really don't. I don't have any good kind of boxing matches or anything like that. But
Ben's just I'm not allowed to talk about the golf locker room experiences.
No.
But other than that,
nothing there either. But the one thing that I can recall from the locker room is we were in gym class one day. We go back in, and Zach, our mechanic welder buddy Zach, his phone was sitting on a bench with a shit on it. Somebody shit on his phone.
On the bench too.
Dude, that's pretty funny.
They had to have
Bro, in like the grossest shit I have ever seen, like to date.
They had to have dipped into in the middle of gym class and been like, "Yep, that's Zach's phone. I'm gonna shit on it." Like
I don't know if it was premeditated or if it was just a sicko. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
To date, have not figured out whoever did it.
Really?
It was a mystery.
That's funny, dude.
Can you imagine, bro? I don't know what he did with his phone or how he got it off or what happened. If it was like a little cautioned off area for a while, nobody touch it. We gotta take DNA samples. But can you imagine coming in and being a piece of shit on your phone?
No.
What do you do?
Even if I saw it like on the floor or on the bench, just with nothing under it, I'd be scared.
That's pretty funny. I wonder what he did to deserve that.
I don't know, man.
There's always some kind of thing that triggered that. Like, surely he just wasn't in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
I mean,
he was talking to someone's girl. I don't know, freaking took his spot on a team. Who knows?
that warrants getting your phone shit on, man.
I'm weird. It's funny of his phone.
I
So
think
what did he
it's
do? Did
smart.
he wash it off?
I would have just
Like, what do you do?
I would have.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what he did.
I would have grabbed some paper towels.
And he's
probably,
still
grabbed it.
he's still pretty hot about it. He's still pretty hot about it. Like, he brought it up a while ago, like 6 months ago.
Hey, by the way, does anyone know? seriously, it's been years now, guys. Who shit on my phone? Everyone's staying quiet.
We always
Come on.
We always thought it was that. You know how every friend group has like that one kid that's just a sicko in it? We always thought it was him in my friend group, and he still has not admitted to it. I still think it was him, but he's like the type of dude to put like peanut butter on his dick and like make our other friend's dog lick it off just to like piss him off.
He's done that?
Yeah, I can't believe.
Oh no, like that's like entry level shit that he's done.
Wait,
He's done that?
Yeah.
I thought you were
Holy
only supposed to do
crap.
that with your own dog.
Mike is like, oh, that's a terrible
That's
idea.
pretty fucked up, dude.
No, so he was always doing stuff like that.
Small town kids, dude.
He was always doing stuff like that.
I thought I was friends with weirdos.
We start pointing fingers at him immediately. Like, who's
As
the
long as
only
you're just pointing
person
them
in
at
this,
him, not put him anywhere else.
who's the only person in this friend group fucked up enough to shit on somebody's phone?
Yeah, for sure. I know who you're talking about. Too.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
It could definitely have been him.
He's also the kid that I literally can't. I don't want to. Never mind.
Well,
I don't know. I think you've said enough. I think you've said enough. I don't want you to escalate anymore.
yeah.
In
I
this.
do love that he never got to the bottom of it, because this isn't like in high school, if you were like, yeah, dude, someone stole my AirPods, never found out who it was. And then it's just like, yeah, I got my AirPods stolen one day. But that's on a completely different level. It's like,
Talk about a mystery, man.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I knew I had somebody that hated me that much. They were willing
Yeah.
to shit on my phone.
Jeez.
Like, I gotta get to the bottom
You
of
know-
this. I got some beef to squash
Yeah.
before something worse happens.
When I was in the 9th grade, we had to share our gym locker room for like PE class with the senior class. So like our ninth graders were at the same time, but obviously different gym classes, but you just would end up in the locker room at the same time. And for some reason there was this like one dude with like these two other dudes, but he was like the leader of it, the senior, and they were so mean to us. Like, you'd literally walk by and they go, whoo, and like you would flinch. Like, I'm not kidding you. It was like some bully
Classic
shit you'd
bully
see in a
shit.
movie though.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that no one would even do that. Like, it's just a dick move. Anyways, I was like, I've had enough of this. And I was obviously just starting to lift weights after school at that time.
Obviously.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say obviously. But I was going in the locker room after school because I'd change and go up to the weight room. Well, no one would ever be in there except for me and a couple of my buddies. Anyways,
those guys.
no, not those guys. So I brought as much Axe as I could. And there's holes in the gym locker. And I sprayed literally probably 10 things of Axe on this guy's shirt.
10 cans?
And fucking in
For
his
the
shoes.
record-
He had nice gym
Hey.
shoes. I sprayed that shit. Like,
Who's paying for this? Like, if I
Axe
burned,
was cheap, dude.
I mean, yeah, but it was like $350.
The thing was, when you were a kid, you'd like, for some reason, always end, at least I'd always end up with these like Axe sprays. I think they'd come in 2-packs, and you would have so many. It's like, I I don't even use deodorant or cologne, like, or whatever the hell you want to call Axe body spray. Anyways, I brought all of them. Sprayed that shit in his shoes, on his clothes, everything through the, like, I was sitting there for like a good amount of time and I was tweaking.
Was it just you, or like you have homies with watching? Like,
I think it was just
really
me. It was actually just me. I didn't want to
You really hated this guy.
Yeah,
Personal.
I did this on my own.
Premeditated, bro.
But I sprayed in there. I'm like, I was kind of sweating because I was like, what if someone comes in, you know? And then like I was listening for the door. Luckily in those locker rooms, there's like such a long hallway because obviously they don't want you to like see around the corner or whatever. So I'm just, anyways. Next day, gym class, this dude reeked of Axe. It was so funny. I just stayed quiet to myself, just like.
and that's one of those ones that you do and just never. There's no one should ever.
But
know.
I felt a lot better about it. I felt like I got squared up at least somewhat.
Did he ever say anything about it, or did you ever hear anything?
Well, no, he just was like.
I hope he's
fuck?
watching this right now, being like, man.
You know what's funny though is
It all
that guy.
makes
I've
sense.
actually ran into him like frequently now. Not frequently. He's moved away, but he's sometimes in the area, and I will see him. But he's way smaller than me now. So like,
Because you started working out in 9th grade, bro.
No, but I mean like shorter
Obviously.
too, like way shorter. Like, I mean, what the hell would this guy do to me? And he's like skinny. He's got like a ponytail. He just kind of looks like I don't know, like a granola bar. You know, a granola.
more physically than
Like,
his traits. Yeah,
Moved away to Colorado, I think. But
to
anyways,
become an actual granola bar.
yeah. So I didn't shit on his clothes
No.
or try to shit through the little holes in the locker, but I sprayed Axe all over it.
Can you imagine? You know, you could get on top of the locker.
That would
the
be.
kid walks in, CJ's drop like this, drop in a locker.
Well, there's no holes on the top, and
I
maybe
know.
some.
No, that's how you have
But-
to. You have to waffle grade it.
Well, I was just saying, I'm
poop
like,
and then
it's a
you push it
waffle
through.
stomp, but he's just
Christ.
doing it.
You know, I'm
Cheeks
not
up
sure
to
if
the
I had my
locker.
friends in there with me or not. I think it was just me. I don't think I risked telling anyone. I'm sorry. I'm just.
You know, I feel
replaying it.
that. It's one of those things that you just have
You
to
gotta
carry out
you gotta stay quiet about it. Yeah.
on yourself there.
I love that we have all these things that we promised ourselves we will never tell anyone, not even a single soul. Then we get this podcast and we're like, all right, open book. What's some fucked up shit we've done? Let's tell the world.
And I love it too because it's like in our heads we're like, yeah, as long as we don't say names, we can tell whatever we want. But it's like,
Comes out.
Yeah, no, people listening
I
to this
know.
when we say stories like this sometimes go, I ain't talking about me.
All
huh?
of a sudden, you got people texting me or you.
Yeah.
Hey, that story you said on the podcast the other day that wasn't about me, was it? No, of course not.
I guess that's you can just say no
No.
unless it's
Yeah,
uber specific.
Well, on the last one, I just name dropped my friend Jace when I was just shit talking him, and he snaps me right. He listens to the pod right away. He's like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck? You did kind
I
of out
honestly,
him.
I like went and I was like, "Do I keep this?" And
No,
then Ben
he
was like,
he
"It's
was like,
funny."
no, that was funny. That was funny.
Yeah,
He's a
Jason's
good
cool.
kid.
That's
He is.
good. Yeah,
guy.
speaking of freaking Jace, I just love freaking him and his buddy went to the Nelk boys and delivered them an ATM.
Yeah.
It drove
Fucking
across
dope,
the
dude.
country. Yeah, it was just interesting because he's always stoked what we're doing when he comes here. He's like, yeah, and he loves the Nelk boys. He loves us, and then next thing you know, like he's with the Nelk boys. It was just funny, like because he's
That's
always
cool.
like, that's dope. You guys got to hang out with them one day,
Dude, speaking about celebrities, segueing in, this weekend, we're actually going to go meet Steve-O. Yeah, so on Sunday, we go to a show. One of our buddies
Yeah, we
that
did talk about
kind of
the
gets us
ATM
brand
thing
deals. He lined it up because I guess he does brand deals for Steve-O, and hit him up. We got VIP tickets to go to Steve-O's show. He's got like a comedy show he does, and then I guess we get to meet him. Well, we can either meet him before or after. But what we need to do, and I don't know if we'll do this, but I would love to come up with some kind of thing we could do when we meet him that like he would be down to do. Like something that comes to my head first. So he's got hot sauce. He's got his own branded hot sauce, Steve-O's hot sauce, very hot. If we go in there and we say like, dude, let's do a chug off, like hot sauce versus hot sauce, like who can drink
That would be legit.
your hot sauce faster. And I know Steve-O will be so down because it's just promo for his hot sauce and he's crazy and like it's worth it probably.
Or do
maybe
you think
worth
that
it.
he's
But
like, oh man,
maybe
Another guy that wants to do
every
fucking
single
crazy
time
things.
somebody meets
that
me.
is possible too. But also, I'm pretty sure Steve will do it, and him did a chug off of his hot sauce or they might have put it up their asses. I can't remember.
Yeah, he butt chugged it.
So maybe that's
Steve-O
just
do
like
it, did
little
that too?
kid shit compared to what he's about. So we have to keep
I
on
definitely
it.
like.
I think now that Mike's kind of like the stunt man, you guys could do like bottle for bottle in the eye.
Yeah. I'm just like picturing like not these aren't our ideas, but
Bottle for bottle, like if like each one gets through one. All right, do another one.
yeah, we're on like 10. If he was like, no, it actually really fucks me up. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
but
I'd understand.
if it didn't, and I think all the viewers would love to see you or one of us do it. I like that idea a lot.
Maybe just in front of him.
I think
that'd be kind of cool.
Even that, if he was down,
And
to
then
do
he
it,
goes,
though,
"Hey, you know what, dude? You're pretty cool. You wanna come be on Jackass 5?"
To you, says that to you, and
I'd
you
have to be like, no. I want to, but logistically
No.
speaking, that
No.
makes no sense for me to do.
But I imagine a bunch of people are like, well, yeah, I'm sure he'd do anything crazy. Just ask if you could kick him in the balls and then
He's
have him
not
kick
gonna
you
do
back.
that.
And I was like, no.
CJ's on Jackass 5, and they ask him, "All right, man. So you do all these crazy dirt bike stunts?" And
Like,
CJ's
no,
like, "No, not really." And they're like, not listening at all. All right, so we're thinking we're gonna have you jump off of an FMX ramp 75 feet into a cactus. You do it, goes terrible, as in goes perfect for them.
yeah.
They cut it.
Fuck yeah. That's what happens, I guess. They're pretty strict on the cuts. You guys
Yeah,
should
dude.
watch the
4.5.
yeah, that's actually I enjoyed it more than the other
I
movies.
think I did too.
Because in the previous, 2.5, 3.5, basically what they do is they fill a whole separate movie
Mostly with
that
bits.
doesn't go to theaters, but with stunts or bits that didn't make the main movie, because obviously they're just like us. They film a bunch of stuff, and whatever's the best kind of goes, and whatever it's not doesn't. But there's a lot of stuff that's like, it's still good, but not worth the main thing. Anyways, in 4.5, they did more of like a behind the scenes type of
Documentary.
thing. It's like a documentary,
yeah.
and it was really interesting to watch. It's on Netflix. You guys should watch it if you haven't
I'm
already.
excited to.
Definitely.
I think it was number 1 for a little bit, but very entertaining, especially as like a creator or somebody who's trying to make videos. It doesn't even matter if you're trying to make them for YouTube or trying to make a documentary or trying to do whatever. Like, it's watching stuff like that really helps you kind of figure out how people make stuff that ends up being as great as obviously Jackass has been. I was surprised actually, because in the last podcast, at the very end, we gave like a little bit of like advice on just, it wasn't even really aimed at people trying to make videos, but I saw a lot of comments of like, I've been trying to make YouTube videos for years and I've been thinking about it, and you guys are so right. I just need to get out and do it. But seriously, like, just studying other pieces of work will help you kind of figure out how to create your own almost.
If you can just take notes from that, then you'll already do better. You don't need to achieve what they're
Don't
achieving.
copy exactly, but yeah, just like kind of figure out how they do it, watch the cut, just everything like that.
But yeah, dude, I'm just thinking back on if Steve-O asked you to join, which obviously he wouldn't. But
I think they're done making Jackass. I
think they-
hate to say
They are
it.
too.
I
They'll make
love it,
something
but
else though. But I
guys
just
are
remember, I
legends.
forget which one of the guys it is, but he says in like one of his cut interviews,
Yeah.
it's just so physically like exhausting, painful. I don't know what word he used. He's just like, it's just terrifying. The whole movie is just physically
I think it's like
terrifying.
PTSD because it's
Yeah.
just like it's like kind of being around the shop when we're filming,
You never
But-
know what's going
but
to
all
happen.
the
way
time.
worse.
Yeah.
I would say like
way
about
worse.
20 times worse, because they will just throw a cactus on you when you're sleeping,
And
not throw water on you.
Instead of an Orbeez gun around the corner, it's like a pellet gun.
Yeah.
It's like a freaking SWAT gun that they use for crowd control.
Yes, there you go.
So
You
there's
know.
the little pranks like that aren't little, and then there's also the other stunts that they do that it's those ones that no one's ever done in the history of the world. This is because it's so stupid or so whatever, and then they do it in like something kind of like bad happens that you might see coming or don't see coming, and then they it's like, all right, who should we do it? Should we have Poopies, Steve-O, and Johnny do it? And then they do it, and then one of them gets really messed up or whatever. And it's just like, it's just one of the 50 stunts they did. And it might not even be the coolest one, and it really, like, injured them somehow. That's what I just hate to see.
No, I mean, it's not fun ever watching anyone get hurt.
Maybe,
once
in
you,
Jackass though.
Yeah, but like seriously hurt.
Yeah.
Once you grow up, at least have maybe been hurt once or twice, you're kind of like, that's not good, you know?
Yeah, because
It's
you
not
know how
fun
much
to
it
watch.
sets a person
Yeah.
back.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Are you guys afraid of getting hurt? Like, do you consciously think of that?
Yeah. Now more than ever, which I never used to be, but lately, dude, it's
And I would
it's
say,
like a block.
Less, but still all the time. Like, I know I'm like scared to even get the wind knocked out of me. I'm even like, if I can just avoid even like slamming any part of my body to the pavement or the ground or the gravel or the grass, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's how everyone's thought process is, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I never used to have like anxiety about anything. And I've just like started tweaking about certain shit. And I just get like worried. I just get in my own head.
I think that
Are you
is
talking
probably
about
what it
getting
is.
hurt or just in
Yeah,
general?
just getting hurt and just like in general, I guess.
I've noticed that in general, you are much more, I don't know, like nervous or like paranoid about certain things, like the thing that just came up today that they're coming to, look over. You're like, dude, what do you think? Like, do we think we gotta? I don't know if we can even talk about it, but
Yeah,
you're all worried about
I
it,
know.
and I'm like, it's funny because I'm kind of supposed to be the high-strung paranoid dude. I'm like, dude, it's fine. We already got this thing. We're gonna say it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just like don't want anything messing with like the flow of
I agree with that,
and like keeping the momentum going.
No, I agree.
Because I just like I think back to when everything we went through with like the Jake lawsuit, like when and like I just think of like how mentally taxing that was on all of us.
I know.
Everyone that comments like, when is Jake gonna come on? We're trying to get him on. He's in a predicament
he's
right
working
now.
on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. He's working on it.
It's basically when he can talk, then he'll come
Yeah.
on.
Anyway, that's side matter. But I just think back to that and just like how mentally taxing it was and everything. I'm just like, I think that created the anxiety for me.
I'd agree with that. Well, it's just like, 100%. You don't want to disturb the flow. It seems like things are just finally kind of starting to roll, you know?
I also think it's getting older. The older you get, you just think about consequences more. We talked about this earlier. When you're a kid, you just don't think about the consequences and just like.
To be
how bad
fair,
things
though,
could
like,
go wrong.
I don't want any of you guys to get hurt either. Like,
Totally.
A lot of people think, like, if you guys get hurt, it's obviously not physically hurting me, but it hurts me because I don't want to see you hurt. But also, everyone carries a little piece of, or not a little, but a piece of work around here. And if that person is unable to carry that, now we're in a predicament of how do we make this work for the meanwhile while they recover, and it's just not good, It's not good.
Yeah. The main thing, I guess, where I think of it right now is like, what is worth it for a long-term gain? Because it's like short-term, you can have short-term wins like all day, just like doing something that's like risk to reward for short-term. But it's like, dude, long-term, man,
Exactly.
is any of that like really worth it? Where it's just like takes like 20 more minutes of being creative to just like completely think of something, reroute it around it, where it's just like getting a little lazy and then something bad happens. Like, I don't know. It's just like things like that.
Risk.
Because like I want to be doing this for obviously a very long time.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's just like
there's a lot more years
getting
left
lazy
in this.
with it and just trying to get those quick short-term wins.
Right.
It's just like not as worth it to me
and
anymore.
I think that's where we end up getting these comments from other people like, oh, I would have just sent it. Like, dude, yeah, if I was in the 7th grade and I was just dicking around like I would have probably said the same thing. Like, I got people watching, like, I'll do anything, but you got to kind of
there's a lot more
think
factors
wisely once you're in the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, I know that if we do something crazy, well, you got to one-up that and you got to keep it going. And it's just like, I don't know. It builds into, it very quickly could get into something that none of us wanted or none of us.
Which that's why I'm happy. Like, we're all on the same page and we've been on the same page about that.
Yeah.
That we
For
never wanted
sure.
to go that.
That we never wanted to go the stunt route. And so the cool thing is, when I send it like today, like that was a huge day for me, and everyone that watches the video will probably be like, sick. That was huge. And then that like is kind of it. It's never like, I wonder what Micah's gonna do next week. Like I'm stoked that it's not like that, and it's not like, all right, well, when's he gonna? Yeah, like
at the same time, like I wouldn't even coin you hitting those jumps on the razor as stunts because those are properly built jumps made for you. Like they've been calculated on the trajectory, whatever. There's still a lot of things that can go wrong, and they're very risky. But it wasn't like a stunt where
it wasn't like swinging around on that.
There wasn't
well, even that though.
It's when there's
those
unknown
straps
factors.
Hold like 40,000 pounds.
That's what I think it is.
Exactly.
It's when there's
They weren't
unknown
gonna break.
factors. Like when we have a stunt, whatever you want to call it, when there's unknown factors, that's when we're like, is this worth it? Jumping the razor today, there wasn't unknown factors. There was either case it or land it or land sketchy or whatever. But yeah, like when there's unknown factors to whatever we're doing, we're just like, is this worth it? We reevaluate. And the cool thing about what Ben said is like, if you're creative, you can think of a creative alternative to the idea you have, and it could do just as well, if not better, than any crazy stunt you could do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what Greg Godfrey said when we interviewed him about Nitro Circus. I said, were you ever worried about taking it to such an extreme you could never top it, and if you did, somebody could get hurt or die or paralyzed or something like that? And he was like, yeah, that was always a concern. And that's when I started taking like more creative filming into it, where we'd have, you know, a jumper over here, and it was more like cinematic versus just like reckless stunts.
I don't know if anyone really tunes into like the stunts are like face value. It's like almost supplemental though in the video. I feel like it's more so just, and we always
I like
say
that
this,
word.
but
I like that description of it.
supplemental.
Face value.
And face value.
It's like you get
But-
what you get.
But realistically, it's not really the show.
If you want to see big stunts, like you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's like X Games, YouTube, Instagram. If you want to see, you can see the biggest, longest dirt bike jump you've ever seen among every other action sports ever.
But if
The
you want to
biggest.
see Ken terrified off his ass in the back of a razor, you tune on
funny.
into CBoys
Yeah,
TV
right.
and watch us. You know, like
The beauty of like having our personalities a part of it, which has been a huge goal of ours for like forever, you know, just like having you guys get to know us and then going, you guys are a cool group. Camaraderie.
you guys are all right.
I
Good
never
kids.
even genuinely looked up the definition of camaraderie, but everyone always says that.
Yeah.
Group camaraderie, that's the right word. We have that.
That's something you either have or you don't, though. That's one thing, you know, you can't really force.
Kind of off topic here, but I want to get your guys' take on this. So I was in the excavator the other day. Well, in these excavators, they have these weird little things called radios. Who would have thought? Started listening to it. Bro, mind blown at how bad these radio shows are.
Oh, the show.
Who's paying for that?
Dude,
Dude,
I was
like,
wondering that
okay,
too.
so I say that because
Who's paying
myself, like probably 98% of the people listening right now, I don't listen to the radio.
You
Ever.
plug your phone and you listen to
Plug
whatever
your phone
song
in,
you want to
you're
listen to.
listening to this podcast
right now.
Podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Sorry to shit on radio right now.
Shit on radio, dude.
Well,
It sucks.
there's some good radio shows.
What are they even trying to do
our
with
homie
it, though?
Jay Thomas, I don't want to shit.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
true. He actually has like it's,
Isn't he
it's
AM?
basically just a live podcast.
Right, right.
Is
His-
he AM or FM?
AM.
Okay.
AM
AM is
or live
different. If
podcast?
you're successful on AM, go for it. But FM radio
Yeah.
sucks.
All right. Okay. So I'm listening to this radio show, bro, and I legit had to stop and turn it up because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. There's these two guys, probably 55 years old. They sound kind of like biker type dudes. It was like a punk rock channel, right? Hey, they're talking like this. Hey, what's up, fuckers? All right, like swearing and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I know it. It's Lex and Terry.
Yeah. Must be.
That's what it is.
It
Yep.
used to be Q. Yeah.
Are they local?
Yeah.
No.
No?
National.
No.
Okay, national. All right.
I didn't even know that.
All right.
Get shit on a local, but if they're national.
No. This just adds to it. Okay, being that they're
Other
national.
people can
Because
listen.
you'll understand why in a sec. I hear them intro like, "What's up, fuckers? All right, here we are. Like we're back." And I'm like, "Is this radio? Turn
I
it
can't
up."
even intro like this.
And there you go. All right, we're doing our 4 o'clock call in listeners. Let's hear some stories. What do you got for us? And we'll give you our advice.
Oh my gosh. We should do a segment like this.
We should.
No, that'd be
And we
great.
should all talk like that.
Yeah. First person calls in. Hello, this is Susan from yada yada, and I need your guys' advice on something I just recently ran into. I had a couple too many drinks, couple too many mojitos, and I might have told my husband that I hate my ring. I hate my ring. It's too small. And these guys are like, oh, how small we talking here? And she's like says it. And these guys are like, what the fuck? Wait, drop that guy. Drop that guy. First off, you're a bitch for calling and into a radio show and hating on your husband. And they were going back and forth. They were hating on her. They were hating on the husband.
Wow.
And then they were like, he needs to buy you a bigger ring, but you're a bitch for complaining about it. You've already said this. You can't take it back now, because she was like, I just don't know what to do. And I was like, well, maybe don't call into a radio show and complain like on national
You almost got to
radio.
wonder if those are real, because
So
I
that
remember
was my
those
question.
too.
Was it real? Because it was so outlandish, the stuff she was saying and being okay with it being on the radio about her husband and about how she was like hated this ring that he bought her. And she was like complaining, like he had an $8,000 credit and like he didn't even use all of it. And I was like,
Heck.
just
That's kind of dumb, then.
Dude.
well, okay. So that was the first one.
Oh,
I was just confused as to why somebody would call in to a radio to get two random guys' opinion on like their personal matters, right? So I'm very confused. I'm intrigued now, listening. Second person calls in. I'm an older woman and I started dating this guy who's 18.
Oh.
I guess 18 years younger, but she said I'm like 40, so he was like 20s. And we were hanging out the other night and we had our clothes on, but we were like kind of getting frisky, and he came his pants. What do I do?
Classic.
Because now he won't text me back. Is he embarrassed?
Must be.
No, he got what he wanted.
And I like at this point I'm like I quit. Excavator stop.
You put it
And
in
I'm
park,
I'm listening like this can't be real right
That's
now.
the big
Like,
leagues over there at AM radio.
yeah. And I'm listening and these guys are like, first off, sweet tits, you don't want to be with a guy that's coming his pants early anyways. He's not giving you what you need. Ha ha ha. Second of all, what's wrong with you out in his business like that?
They go for both. The girl and the whatever. They go for both people in the situation every time.
like that. Well, you didn't really.
So then I'm like, there's no way that this is real.
No.
Are these real conversations and real people calling in?
You got to wonder. Because I used to think the same thing. I would sometimes, before I had one of those cassette players with the aux cord connected to it that you'd pop into your cassette on your car.
Which actually
I would
worked pretty
listen,
slick.
It did, yeah. I would listen to the radio on the way to school, and it would be like the morning.
Normally
they would have
those
stuff
are
like
local,
that come
but-
in, yeah.
I
They would always be like, is this legit? This does not sound legit, because the person on the phone sounds almost like
they sound like recorded.
an actor.
And they're like very well spoken, and like they always have a response like very quick.
Yeah, they speak too well.
Yeah.
And people aren't that good at talking for the most part. If you're not a good talker,
I want to
like,
say
it's
that
tough to.
Yeah.
if they are
actually sound
fake, if one was fake, I think they're all fake. Because really, it wouldn't be that hard to get someone to just call in. Like, we'll pay you $100 to call in, or whatever. You know, whatever.
Well,
To
there's
call in
another
with
person at the radio station.
bullshit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So at first I was like, I don't know if they're fake, but yeah, if they were just they had 3 calls a day, and they were just all fake, it'd be super easy. But I do remember one that was definitely controversial being called fake. I'll tell really fast. This one chick calls in. It was somewhere around here. I don't know if it was national or not, but she calls in and she's like, well, I have a question. Why do they put deer crossing signs on the road?
I've seen this one.
Yeah, like that.
That was local.
It was local.
Yeah,
and
and now it's like a
What'd she say?
national meme.
and she's like, they put deer crossing signs on the road. Why would they put them there? Like,
in
why would
highly trafficked areas.
like so deer just cross there? Like, it makes no sense across a literal state highway.
Right
A
here on
deer-
this curve.
What a terrible place to put a deer crossing, and it's just
gotta be
like
fake.
late. And so I like to think it's not fake so that I can laugh at it.
Yeah,
But
I know. Well, it's like most reality TV.
Yeah.
You know, by the time I was kind of,
Once you understand.
you know, a senior, maybe getting out of high school, you start to question these shows. You're like, this doesn't seem real. And it's like very obviously almost kind of fake. And
yeah, man, but it's radio and their numbers are dying, so they got to come out with some outlandish shit. And look, they got us talking about it now.
That's true.
yeah,
Maybe
it's
works
the
for
big
everybody.
leagues.
I got to admit, I listen to the radio quite a bit. Pretty much the only driving I do every day is to and from
And
my
you don't
house.
connect your phone.
No, because I drive Micah's Ranger.
Oh,
And I took the FM transmitter.
No, it's still in there. I don't know.
The
I
old
just-
one's in there.
Yeah,
but-
it's just for like 10 minutes. So I just listen to the radio. And I don't mind the
Okay.
radio. I listen to the classic rock station. Don't mind listening to that. Don't mind the iffy morning show. The worst part is when you get caught in a 10-minute commercial break.
'cause
And
that's
you
how they
can
do it
pull
now.
out of the shop and I can go all the way to my house and not hear a single song. I just hear
why don't you
ads.
just change the
I don't
station?
know. Sometimes you just drive, you put the window down, you don't really listen to it. It's not like you're like, all right, I'm tuning into this song.
on.
It's just on. And I'll sometimes get home and I go, I didn't listen to anything the whole way home.
Back when I used to work at Lake Shirts, it was like 35 minutes to work. I would just obviously be tired in the morning. Just wouldn't listen to music.
Sit in silence.
Just straight up wouldn't.
I do that.
Yeah.
That's when
bet.
your brain is just on autopilot, though. And
Yeah.
you're just like,
And it almost makes the drive go faster when you're not concentrating
Yeah.
on anything.
I kind of like no music. Especially if you're in a car that
Especially-
has a good exhaust,
Yeah.
then it's fun.
That's true.
Went back to the high school roots and put a subwoofer in my Subaru. I put a sub in my Subaru, and I legit don't even. I was like, oh, it sounds good. Cleaned up the whole audio. I got bass now, and I don't even use it because the exhaust is so loud and you want to listen to it. So there is something like a car that has good exhaust really doesn't need a good sound system.
What do you guys think about when you roll up, windows down, music blaring? Do you think that someone looks cool in doing that, or do they look lame?
What's the word?
I don't think
it's not
anyone-
lame. It's douche.
Yeah.
dude, I don't think anyone rolling up anywhere with their windows down, no music, looks cool.
Oh,
So don't
No
ever
one
have
looks
your
cool.
windows down.
No,
No,
one looks cool
I don't.
ever.
I don't like. I would never roll up somewhere with my windows down in my car, like in my Lambo.
so
Like I would.
Okay, I am not understanding
Yeah,
that.
I'm
I
not
think you can
either.
have your windows down.
No, I don't think so.
Jesus, fuck,
Really?
you can't have your windows down
I
around
think
this
if
No,
you
guy.
have your
no.
windows down-
Like rolling up somewhere, then you just look
pull
like
into
an
the parking
asshole.
You
lot.
were maybe
Jesus.
driving and
your windows-
you had your windows down because it was a nice day.
if they were already down,
Do
totally
you
okay.
actually do that? You put your windows down if you're driving and it's a nice day?
Yeah.
For what? Like,
Get
Just
feel
fresh
air, dude.
Fresh air. Especially if
maybe
you're
call
in
me
town.
crazy, but I don't do that.
If you're in
Damn.
town and you're not driving fast,
hate,
so you
I
can-
hate driving in town with my windows down. I hate people looking at me. I don't. When I pull up to a stoplight and you can just see out of the corner of your eye somebody's looking at you.
Well, that's because you're in a
Like, I was just like,
Lamborghini.
most people don't drive fucking hypercars, dude.
Okay,
I
but
get
no,
that.
no, in my Subaru and everything.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just don't like people just looking
Okay.
at you.
I
And
think you might be
Just
the minority on this one with driving with your windows down. I don't think it's douchey if you drive with your windows down. I'm just gonna say that.
I think
I don't know.
I
It
was
just
more
does
so-
not feel right.
I was more so asking if you have your windows down and you pull up to this restaurant and there is a bunch of people on the patio and you have your stereo
and it's just
dying.
like, no,
you
I
should
like the
not
way you
do
do
that
it right
either.
there,
Yeah.
right there. And you pull
Exactly.
up.
You
No,
don't
that
look
does not
cool.
look cool.
No matter what vehicle you're in, you don't look cool.
If you roll up and you're listening to this podcast, cranked,
Crank, dude.
everyone would be like, "Is that dude listening to a podcast right now?"
You want
Hearing us talking about shitting on somebody's phone.
When we were in Miami, everyone was driving around like convertibles with their shit cranked.
That's
So that's what I was gonna get into. Was like I have two convertibles. I don't think the Bronco's a convertible. I don't. The Bronco's is basically a Jeep. I don't know what those are.
Convertible.
But when
Consider
you're,
it.
I'm saying not even doors off. Just let's just say top down, windows obviously down. I do like to cruise the strip playing music. Not like look
That's
at me
not-
playing
yeah.
music, but playing like, I don't know, like playing like a really good reggae song or something. People are like, oh, nice. You know, like it's
But
not
when-
like you're sitting there just trying to be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking out the
It's
corner
about
eye.
it's
Yeah.
about when you pull up though. Like when I pull
For
up,
sure.
I'll still leave the windows down, but I
Turn it
turn
down.
it down
Yeah.
so it's not like blowing out. Like
That-
everybody, look at me.
That's really the difference.
And it is funny because I can tell when CJ arrives in his Evo in the winter because there's the distinct exhaust rumble and boom, boom.
Okay, I have my windows up and I'm
Obviously,
pulling in
you're
the
coming
shop.
here. Rules are off, but you're the only person that pulls up blaring music every
Yeah.
time.
Dude, the Evo's got a great sub in it.
Yeah. Obviously, we can hear Ben's Lambo. I can hear your car coming up now, but I just really like having distinct exhaust. I put exhaust on the Bronco. Still, we can argue whether that's cool or not. I don't even think it's that cool. Once the wheels are on it and shit, it'll be cool. But it's got this note that now everybody goes, oh, that's Micah's Bronco.
Yeah.
And I do like that. When it's not like, oh, that's Jake's Mustang because it's so freaking loud. You can hear it from across the world.
Dude,
but
you and your friends aren't car guys if you can't
you can't, yeah.
tell who's pulling up just by the sound of their car.
So true.
Because
I'm
we've
so
always
true.
been able to do that.
Bro,
I'm still trying to get used to your Bronco with the exhaust, though. You started it down in the underneath where we're sitting right now in like the shop part of the thing. And I was in my office and I perk up. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I literally, you stood there, you had it warming up for like 2 minutes, and I was just literally waiting for you to back up to see what it was. And then it was the Bronco, and I was like, man, I can't believe I missed that. I can't believe I didn't figure that one out. Honestly, I felt kind of like a squid.
It low-key sounds like a V6 with an exhaust leak.
Bro, I hate to say this, but I thought we got a new lawnmower. I was legit like, somebody bought a new lawnmower without telling us.
You guys
We don't have
ever
money for that.
you guys ever hear a car drive by with loud exhaust and you're like, oh, that sounds kind of cool, and you look and it's like not a cool
Sometimes.
car, and you get mad
got
at
an
yourself
exhaust
and you're
leak.
just like, why'd I look?
It could be depicting, dude.
Yeah, there's sometimes you're just well that's a Civic
Ryan,
rolling past, but
are you trying to trigger CJ right now, man?
Oh, what?
A not cool car having an exhaust?
They don't. Sometimes they don't
No,
choose
I
to
was
have
treading
an
lightly.
exhaust. They just
The
rust it out, and
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it is how it is. And you can't knock a guy for that.
I can't believe you guys like rolling up to places with your windows down.
Okay,
I
your
haven't
windows
gotten over
down.
that.
oh,
You know, you're pulling up, and it's a really nice day, and you pull in.
you might even wave at someone.
Yeah, you start putting your windows up, and you put it in park, and you walk in.
Now that you guys say that, I might
actually.
be an introvert.
I think you're the only person
I
who
think
thinks it's douchey to pull up with your windows down. Ben's gonna start removing his window buttons in his car. He's like, you don't need those. Weight reduction. How do you feel about
literally
no
told-
doors
he told
or
me it was
roof
fine,
on a
dude.
vehicle?
He told me it was fine.
I think that's different. But I think CJ rolling up in his Jeter with the windows down, just like kind of making a scene.
How am I making a scene?
No, you're just
I don't have
driving.
any music. I'm just pulling in. It's a hot day.
It's only if he's making a scene is when it's douchey. If he pulled in, gave it even
I don't
the
know. I
slightest,
guess I would just see it.
and
And I
then,
would just be like,
kept his shades on and then looked over at everyone.
yeah, if I
that'd be
I don't know. If I just saw that, I'd be like, why didn't that asshole just roll his window up?
What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
I don't know, man.
I mean, if there's a lot of people watching, I probably would, just because I would hide behind my window tint. Regardless of whether I do it or not, I don't think that makes you a douchebag. I think if you have any kind of music blaring and you have your windows down, because then it's like, listen to my music, everybody.
I think it's just more of making a scene.
Here's an
showing up.
alternative. You're pulling up to the public beach. You're going to go swimming with your homies. Acceptable windows down pull up. You are pulling up to the bank on a Tuesday.
yeah.
That's a windows up pull up.
No,
Yeah.
you have to have your window down if you're pulling up to the drive-through.
No,
bank.
you're getting out and you're getting in.
I don't even mess with that, man. I pull up to the bank.
I'm
I
sorry,
open my
I'm
door.
not following any of this. What if you're in like the lamest car you could possibly drive? Like a Prius. Are you a douchebag then if you're pulling up with your windows down?
Yeah, I guess then it doesn't even count because the car's not even
Like,
cool.
how are you possibly trying to be a cool guy?
Unless it has like a sub and you're trying to bump. Other than that,
Yeah, no music, windows down. It's a hot day.
I just can't believe you,
maybe-
guys.
Just feel the air on your skin.
What's the point? That's what air conditioning is for, to
I
keep
think
your car
the
cool.
you know what the problem is here? We're working with a millennial.
I know.
I'm not a millennial.
He's
Well, you're
not.
damn near.
Whatever, even worse. Even worse.
You should probably just tell people you're a millennial if you're gonna act like this.
Are you saying I'm a millennial as in I'm younger than you, acting younger than you, or I'm older than you, acting old?
He's
You're just like a different breed.
Which one are you saying I am? Are you saying I'm older or am I younger? Being a millennial.
I would say you are an misunderstood new breed that thinks completely differently because you're a millennial.
I don't know, man. I think a lot of people listening right now are I don't want to say a lot, but I think there might be one or two that agree with me.
There might
Maybe.
be one or two.
Okay.
Dude, you're going to do so good when we go to space.
If you drive places, comment down below. If you drive with your windows down and don't have your music blaring, but you're driving with your windows down and you go places.
Do you guys keep your windows down on the interstate?
No,
it's way too windy.
Okay, what mile per hour is it like
55.
warranted?
55 is like you're getting blown around. You're like, put this up.
Anything more, yeah.
Yeah, I've always wondered how smokers are just ripping down the interstates at 80 and they
Dude, I feel like older vehicles didn't get as wind blowing.
Yeah, and it also could be some of those people don't have AC.
Too.
I know. I like to think about that too, and I also like to think about. There's been a handful of times in the life of our channel that Ben has had to drive a peanut home, that he's had to have the windows down on. That now might be the only time you've ever driven with the windows down. You know, we pick up a peanut. It's in whatever town across.
It put a bad taste in your mouth, dude.
It's got no AC, and you had to drive with the windows down. You're like, man, I might as well pick up smoking if I'm gonna have my windows down.
I don't know, man. Call me crazy, I guess.
You're crazy.
Okay, thank you.
This is totally, everyone's gonna make fun of me for this, but I judge people when they have their windshield wipers moving too fast.
What?
It's like you're overreacting.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like it'll just be like a medium rain.
Overreact.
Yo, Ryan, that gives me so much anxiety rolling around with somebody who's doing that, and even worse, when they don't have it enough, and it's like a safety hazard, and they're like almost like damn near squinting to see. I'm like, dude, just click it one more. Just click it one more, and you will be amazed at what happens.
I can go raw, no windshield wipers. Just let the beads just roll right back.
Ryan's a big Rain X guy.
Yeah.
But I have that internal conflict.
He's saving money. He doesn't wear out his windshield wipers.
For the record, Ryan actually taught me this. Like, if you put Rain X on your windshield and you do it right, and especially if your windshield is curved as your Lambo is or something like that, you don't need windshield wipers. For the record.
You should remove your windshield wipers and your window up and down buttons.
You should. I literally do this. I don't know why. It's raining. I turn mine on like one click, turn it back off. Nice. Got the windshield clean. Oh, got a little more rain on it. Turn it on. And then I go, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And then I finally click it onto number Jake, 2 dude. Setting.
It could be like a legitimate full-blown rainstorm, and he's going, just so he can control it.
And then I'm
himself.
like, dude, speaking of that too, it's just like, I'm like, dude, it's super hot in here. I look down. Air is off. To the off. And then he goes, oh, sorry. And I'm like, dude, it's kind of cold in here. Sorry. Turns it completely off.
Yeah, that's like hopping in your car or your truck and then not putting your seatbelt on and then just rolling for 20 minutes just listening to ding.
Old men do that all the time.
It's because I don't believe in seatbelts.
Yeah,
what do they not hear that?
Yeah. Well, dude, I get in the truck with Rich. I pick Rich up from the bar the other night. I was bringing him home. Doesn't put his seatbelt on. And after a little bit, I go, hey, Rich, you gonna throw that seatbelt on or what? He goes, oh, yeah, sorry, man. Usually I just wait until it just stops dinging. And I go, how long does that take? He's like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. I'm like, bro, just put it on.
It varies per car, but
he said it quits after 5 minutes. And I was like, I don't know about that, Rich. I think you just tone it out after that.
What were you driving? Like, it varies per car.
The Ram.
Okay. Does he have
There's
a Ram?
ways to turn off.
He has a Ram.
You look over at them, kind of what you said, and you go, yeah, that's just going to keep on dinging.
That's just going to keep dinging.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm like, you didn't hear it, did you? No. I have a cool question to maybe end the podcast. What was one of your guys' favorite memories from the old shop, if you can think of anything? We haven't talked about that much at all, and we haven't talked about it in a while. One of my favorite memories is, there's so much stuff that happened, and we really grew a lot there too, but this inspirational little bit does nothing to do with the story. But one time, Ken put a bunch of yum yum sauce in the burgers. and he was cooking the burgers outside the shop in the grill, and in the grill was a good 10 feet away from the shop actually at the time. I don't know why, but it was a little closer. Okay.
It was right next to the building.
Oh, okay. Never
Ken said
mind.
it was right next
Ken
to the
must
building.
have pulled it out there when I got out there. But anyway, it was right next to the building. He put a bunch of yum yum sauce in the burgers, in the hamburger, cooked the burgers. They just fell apart because there was too much yum yum sauce in them. And the grill was like
A grease fire.
engulfed in flames. I'm talking like 10 to 15 feet tall. Woo. Looking at the shop, and then I open the door. I'm like, Ken, what the? He goes, I don't know. You know, like,
Yeah.
the shop's on fire. And I'm just like, you put too much yum yum sauce in, and it was just the funniest thing ever because I was, and he's just like, I know, I did. I'm not gonna make that mistake again.
Who puts yum yum sauce on a burger while it's on the grill?
No, not
We were
on it, in it.
in the meat.
Pack the
Oh.
patties. It was
We were
you-
obsessed with yum yum
for
sauce.
the record.
That sounds
yeah.
even more whack. Why would we do that?
But he was
Yum yum
experiencing.
sauce is good.
It is.
Yeah.
Experiencing.
Or sorry,
He was experiencing.
He was experimenting, but yeah, he like that was like of all the fires and
We
bombs
damn
and,
near
and
burned down that
stuff
shop a
we
couple
exploded.
So
times.
many times.
I think my favorite is when we just had a stint where we would blow stuff up. Like
Yeah.
we had no garbage cans at one point because we realized if we put M80s in the garbage can upside down, it would blow it like 100 feet up in the air.
As
So
we're
we just-
in an HOA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we started doing that. Then we blew up that old jet ski.
I happen to find that
Couch.
video.
Like pretty much everything that was garbage that was still intact. We're like, blow it up,
Blow it up.
blow it
Oh,
up.
yeah,
And that
maybe.
was fun.
Yeah.
But
That's
we
when-
can't do that anymore on YouTube because they don't let you blow stuff up. Otherwise, I would still be doing it to this day.
The last thing we blew up was the washing machine or
That thing got
the
sent.
oven.
And
There
that
was
was
something
here,
in
but-
the lawnmower slip and slide video. Go
And
watch
it ended
it.
up
God
getting
damn, it's great.
demonetized because of it.
Holy shit. Oh my gosh!
Brian, remember when you fell off of your quad and it ghost rode across the parking lot into our neighbor's shed?
Oh, dude, that was so dumb.
Dude, remember
Oh
that?
yeah, I remembered a little
Into
bit.
Allen's?
Yeah. Oh, into Allen's.
Yeah, it was just like messing around. We'd been in the neighborhood a bit, but not that long. We were just
Yeah.
starting to get solid with our neighbor. What was I side wheeling?
I think you were like I don't even know what you were doing,
I don't
but
know
I just
how.
remember watching it just ghost ride across the entire driveway.
And
And it
then
just
just-
smokes the neighbor's building.
And so I had to like replace the tin on the side of his building, and like I did it. I actually did pretty good,
You
but
did, dude.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, I'm gonna mess this up worse than it was before. It was bad.
Okay, Mike, this isn't the best memory, but the worst memory, actually, the quite opposite. What comes to mind when I think of that old shop, it was one of the it was like the last couple weeks that we were in there, and we had this great idea to put a trampoline inside the shop.
I was gonna talk about
yeah.
this too.
And we thought it was like the best. We were like, man, why didn't we do this like the second we moved in? Bouncing off the walls,
Ceilings
back under
are
the tram.
not that high.
Ceilings are not that high. Jumping up, hanging off of the garage door, the brackets on the top, dropping back down. My girlfriend Greta comes over, and we were jumping, and she was like, "Watch this!" Does a backflip, lands a little nose heavy, and rockets into the side of the trampoline. Outer ring has no padding on it. Breaks her nose, gushing blood
So bad.
everywhere.
So
Everywhere. Oh man, it's like
You're like traumatizing.
so
for sure
traumatizing.
to think
And
about.
yeah, ended up like completely destroying her nose. Had to get like surgery on it and got blood like all over. Like
Yeah, I was
that
gonna say, don't
area
leave out
of
like the blood and the pain and all that was
Yeah.
pretty
Her
traumatizing. But
nose
the
was-
facial reconstruction surgery she had to have afterwards
Yeah,
was
and-
probably the worst part.
And I just remember her parents being like, "What happened?" And she was like, "Oh,
I went to the shop.
Ben
I
punched
fell,
me.
I fell on a trampoline. Trampoline? There's still snow on the ground. Ben and the CBoys put a trampoline in their shop. They
That
had to
w-
have been like, "Are you kidding me?"
And that was the tough part too, because that could have happened on a trampoline planted anywhere.
Anywhere, right.
Indoors or outdoors.
Well, there's no net on it.
But yeah, I
I'll tell
remember
you
we
that.
got really antsy. Mark, shout out Mark, gave us a hot tub.
That was
We're
sick.
like, why not? Put it in the shop.
Yeah, that's
And
when we took the trampoline out and we were like, well, we got all this room now. What should we do with it? Let's put a hot tub in
there.
here.
That was
great.
great, actually.
I love the hot
Indoor
tub.
hot
we
tub
like
was fun.
hung a TV above the hot tub, bro. If I have this clip, also you guys just need to see this because it's beautiful. Ken does a beautiful job on customer service, and if you get an email from him, he might have answered that anywhere. He might have answered that sitting in the Razor, sitting in his bedroom, literally
From his
sitting
phone.
in the excavator. You know, like from his phone in Minneapolis. Like he answers emails anywhere, and he was sitting in the
email's
empty
crazy.
hot tub, bro,
Dude,
doing work on his computer. Like, what is going on right now?
man, there's so many freaking things that come to mind of like instances that happened at that shop. Like at one time we played that one game where you have to take a shot or whatever every how many minutes? Is it every minute or
no, it was
something?
a shot
the
of beer.
Power hour.
Shower,
Well,
power hour or
it's
something.
supposed to be with a real shot, but you would die.
Yeah, so we were doing shots of beer, but
I
you
don't
end
know
up
if it
getting
is,
really,
actually.
really messed up. And I fell down the stairs
Oh,
and landed on my
yeah.
face.
That
And
was
I
bad.
got
You got
I had to go get
stitches.
stitches at like 3 in the
That's
morning. I was
right.
like, jeez.
And the worst part about that is it's one that
It's like a
anyone
weekday.
hears that and they're just like,
Yeah,
"You
it's pretty
too
hard to
drunk, man?"
understand.
Yeah.
Well, I
Why?
just missed a stair. I wasn't drunk.
Oh, yeah, you weren't.
Dude,
Oh.
there
I
was
was drunk.
Yeah, there were so many things that we got like new toys that we like completely binge play with for the next like week
Yeah,
or
that-
however long until we broke them. And I remember we got hoverboards, things that like they twist and then you lean forward and like, you know, it's like a mini Segway. Cody
Oh, yeah.
ripping the hoverboard. He's like, check this out. He's in like,
He's, like,
little
squatted
little
down.
egg mode, like doing a donut. And whoa, falls backwards, hits his head on the hammer slogging table.
Just a
8
giant
stitches,
log.
10 stitches.
No, bro.
Oh.
No, he didn't get stitches.
Should have.
Yeah.
Super glue.
Hit
That's
his
right.
head on the back, and Jake and I go, you cracked your head open, and then he's just like, we can't go to the hospital. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, dude. We could super glue it. I don't know whose idea was to super glue it. Honestly, not mine, but it worked. We super glued Cody's freaking head together.
Man, yeah, there was a lot of like just like weird little injuries that happened there. And dude, I just think back to like the amount of stuff, the amount of videos that we filmed all while we're in this HOA using just like this public parking lot. We got just shops everywhere, but everyone loved us
Yeah,
because
I
we
guess
we
they
were the
miss
only
us.
people that were there, and we like kind of kept an eye on everything.
And we kept
We
it up. We
did.
graded the parking. Granted, we
Yeah,
messed the
We
parking lot
messed the parking
severely.
lot
But
up
then we
like
would
every other
severely-
day.
But we would grade it.
Yeah.
We'd fix it up, and they'd be like, "Oh, nice, it's all taken care of by Friday."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like on Thursday afternoon, there's like
We had
2
donut.
foot deep ruts in there because we did donuts with Jake's Raptor.
Man, spraying the other buildings with rocks. That
Yeah,
was a dick
exactly.
move.
And then it transitioned to us being responsible, and then subs just coming in and being like, this is where you guys do donuts then?
Oh yeah,
And then we'll just do that. Obviously, we've talked about that before. So we'd clean up their mess too.
Dude,
Luckily,
what
we don't
about
have
like
to
the
deal with
number of freaking visitors we've had at the new shop or our current shop
It's been
lately?
a lot.
It's been like weird, very weird occurrences. Like,
Yeah.
Dude,
like,
the
I'm
guy-
uncomfortable. I'm like, what is going on right now? And they're just standing in the shop or in the parking lot, and I'm like, I'm just trying to do my job. It just seems
It's
like
always-
you're really weird though when you come over here uninvited. It's not, and I don't mean in a mean way if you have came over here, but it just seems like out of all of my interactions, it's always the oddest people that show up, which makes complete sense because you really just shouldn't show up to someone's house or private office, basically. And it's always very strange. It's comical when they leave, but you're kind of just like, why are you here when they're here? But when they leave, we're always just like, what just happened?
Yeah, like the other day, this guy and chick and a couple kids show up. I walk out late, you know,
Not
I was,
knowing what's
like
going on.
not
I
knowing
didn't know
what's
I
going
came
on.
out with him.
And I was filming, like I was trying to, you know, meet the guys over at the track to go
New
and
track,
film, right?
at the new track.
Yeah, walk out and they're talking to these guys, and they seem like you guys were
There's
kind of like chopping it up, and
Yeah.
and they were like, let's get a picture.
like-
We take this picture, and this guy, like the dad, is like standing next to me on the end, and
The
takes
kids
the
were
picture.
very hesitant though. They're like, let's get a
They
picture.
didn't
let's get
really
a
want
picture.
this picture.
It's like these kids are like, oh.
Yeah.
who are these guys? And you're like, what? Okay, sure, whatever. Just get this picture.
So we take this picture, and the dad is on the end, right next to me, and then no one else.
Kids
next
are
to
in the
him.
middle.
After we take it, the guy goes, whispers in my ear, I stood on the end so I can cut myself out. I'm like, okay. All right.
Why do we take this picture? Because the kids didn't want it.
Well, that was one
So
of those.
they're walking away then, and they're like, we're going to go look at the Lambo. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Which I think
And
is
then
in the shop.
They walk
and
away.
we're over here.
They walk
We're not
away-
even there.
They walk away, and I go, who knows these guys? Like, they just acted like, all right, we're going to go and check that out. And you know, we're acting like somebody knew them. And all of us on the same page, like, nobody knows them. What the fuck just happened? We look over, they're walking into our shop. We're like, what is going on right now? Why'd that guy ask for a picture and then say he was going to cut himself out of it then? Like, so many different weird things. And then Ken is, of course, the last one in the shop. So, you know, he was trying to get out of there.
What'd he say? He said something to you about like some adult party.
It's showing me pictures of his bikes and his scooter and his this and that and this and that. And I don't know. He was clearly the fan because his kids were skittish and not genuinely interested in us, but he was. And he's like, dude, this pontoon, check it out. And it was a super nice pontoon. But, I mean, we get to go out on the boat all the time, you know, whatever. And he just like, it's the adult pontoon, though. You guys are welcome anytime. We were out there till 4:30 last night. I'm like, sounds legit, man. Sounds super fun.
That homie had to still been drunk because there was something off.
Oh, yeah. He's like, yep, woke up at 6 today for the kids. And I was like,
You gotta do that.
how are you alive right now? I mean, I'm genuinely wondering that, but
It's just tough because the normal people that we love when we meeting all the people that watch and support. So I don't want to say that, but it's like the normal people that would be like our homies and we could have like a genuine conversation with and like we love meeting. Those aren't the people that show up. Those are the people that are like, maybe I shouldn't pass these no trespassing signs. Please do not come onto our property because you watch our videos and you feel like you know us.
Right.
Just don't. Those aren't the people that come. It's the ones that just ignore. Oh, that no trespassing sign. That's not for me. Smile. You're on camera. Well, they probably want to film with me or something.
Like, dude, I'd love to meet Joe Rogan, but I'm not gonna just go show up at his house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think some people kind of forget that. And we do love meeting everybody, just under the right circumstances. There's many times when I've heard, hello, anybody home? And I'm literally taking a shit. I like literally have to go, this is 5 minutes too short. And I have to like get up and I walk in, someone's just standing in the shop. Cool place. My kids are in the car. Can they come in? And half the time I think the kids know. The kids know they're not supposed to. And they're like, I've had like, 14-year-old kids and be like, I'm sorry, I know we're not supposed to come here, but my dad said it'd be fine. And I think it's the dads are like, what do you mean? They're just normal guys. This is maybe one of the more legendary drop-bys that we've ever had. This is in 2019. So keep in mind, we did not own the shop. This was my dad's second home. He did all of his work here. This is a
and he said
Friday, Saturday night.
Prior to this, he did mention, yeah, I wouldn't mind if you guys did some donuts there and stuff. I wouldn't mind that.
And boy, should he not have said that. So whatever, this guy stops by, wants to do a burnout. I'm like, yeah, you can do a burnout.
He's got brand new tires.
He did have brand new tires.
So
He
we
made sure to
weren't
tell
thinking
us.
he was going to toast them.
And it was a truck. Were we wrong?
This
It's
is
going
insane.
one wheel, it gets two
At
wheels
what point
going.
were you like, okay?
Right here. I was like, stop.
Yeah, you
Trying
really
to pretend like you like it.
After basically this first one, I'm like, whoa, dude, he's sending it. And then I'm like, oh, these marks are on there.
She's still going.
Dude, I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's treating it like the Hoonigan burnout yard. Like,
I think I was like, oh, fuck. All I'm thinking during this is, I am so screwed. How am I going to explain this?
This is a fucking amazing burnout.
He's still going.
and he goes for another 30 seconds after this video ends. Dude, my favorite thing, though, is how sturdy and just dark those marks were.
They still are, dude.
Yeah.
They're still there.
They finally this winter have
Let's
gone
say
away.
gone.
He's still going, dude.
Yo, this is insane.
And then the video ends. That was
Because-
a full minute Snapchat.
You put the video down, I thought, because you're like, he's still going because I'm videoing.
No. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
just freaking...
Maxed it out. The funniest thing was that dude was all talking up his Chevy about how it was like, you know, deleted and shit. The thing had power. I was like, if our Duramax could have done that, I would have been stoked. But yeah, that
So
was a
crazy,
wild
man.
time. We
So
always
wild.
We always get nervous when we run into him because he's a wild card.
At this point, though, I'd love for him to just come back and absolutely
Do that?
toast him. Now that
I'm
it's
down
ours,
for it.
and we
Yeah,
can't.
same.
And then Randy shows back up the next day, 6 a.m. there to
Ready
pick
for
up
work.
pick up some work supplies. Sees that, dude. Can you imagine?
Oh, dude, I was literally sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
I was sick. I went to Menards and I bought like goo off and concrete cleaner, did all this stuff. Sat out there for like quite a while.
Didn't
and
work
pressure washed like
at all.
Pressure washer right on the concrete. And I got like this much gone. And I just went, I'm screwed. There's no way I can do anything to make this go away. I could pressure wash all day and my dad would come here at 6 a.m. and I'd only have half of it gone. And they stayed forever. And you can clearly tell which shop is ours from Google Maps because of the freaking giant burnout pad.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. A bunch of people just segueing back into people that came to our shop. A lot of people found our shop because of those burnout marks. They'd look on Google Maps and they would see those burnout marks and zoom in a little bit and go, "Yep, that's the CBoys shop." Yeah, like I mean, look at that.
Like I just did burnouts with my car and they are not half as dark as that.
No,
It was a doozy.
that's
That is just
gnarly.
downright impressive.
Yeah,
we
I'd
had
say
to have ordered new tires right after
we
that.
gotta do that again. I mean, let's have Buddy do it again, but
Well, dude, I want to get like a drift car, like a 350Z or something like that, and turn our parking lot into like a little drift course.
that would be cool.
But other than that, I don't really know where to drive it. But I guess most people that have drift cars probably don't have like their own personal drift tracks.
That's true.
I mean, I just think that'd be so sweet.
I agree. I definitely want to get a drift car.
I think it'd be sick if we made like a lot more money and we like made a giant drift track around on the new property, like around the dirt bike track. How sick would that be?
We'd need a lot of
Around the dirt bike
asphalt
track.
or, concrete, but I'm so down.
That would be
It would-
so
you
sick.
thought, you thought this track cost a lot of money.
Just wait till we
go
gotta
do
lay down
that.
a quarter mile.
I don't think we
asphalt.
can do
Quarter
that.
mile.
That would be sick, dude.
It would be sweet though to section. I mean, maybe we don't want to do this, but it's just a thought. We section off a little bit of that property. We put up another shed for ourselves, and we use that as maybe even just cold storage right away. Put our stuff that we have so much stuff nowadays, like that is just sitting out in front of the shop. We could park it over there, and then on top of that, we could put up another longer strip of different little, basically smaller, I don't know what you want to call them, units for people that come to the lake only in the summer, and they can store their boat there or whatever. They don't have storage and make a little bit of money. You can charge rent.
Yeah, definitely a good long-term play right there. But for the short term, racetrack.
All right, let's do a NASCAR
Yeah.
track then.
And
Dude,
on
I
that
love
note,
that.
Stadium and all. Our neighbors are going to be like, oh, my God.
Here
So-
come the bleachers. It's over.
Yeah.
Oh, they got lights, too.
They
They
got
plan on
lights,
doing
too.
this shit at night.
And a PA system was like, "Welcome back to CboysTV racetrack."
Who could they be talking to? No one's there right now.
We're just doing it for fun.
Dude, that'd be legit. Yeah, and also we're trying to get like an archway to the entrance of it. We're trying to get an archway made. So if you're listening to this and know anything about that, reach out to us, and we want to get an archway made. Like it's a big ranch. We're calling it Wide Open Ranch.
Is that the name that we decided on?
I can't think of
like
a cooler
it.
one. I love it. I love it.
I don't know. Every time
not
I
sure
hear
about
ranch, I just hear like I just think of Ram Ranch. Like it's just
Ram
Ranch. Wide open ranch.
Wow.
It's not much of a
No,
ranch,
no,
dude. What
I-
are we gonna start
Well, what do
farming
you
and
wanna
putting
call
some goats on it?
I'm down
I think
to call
that's
it
the joke.
whatever. Yeah, I think it is
Oh.
the joke too. That it's
What if
like
we just name it-
clearly not a ranch.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I
but
think if we do go
I'm
with
open for
the
anything.
ranch, yeah,
Wide Open Ranch.
yeah, that is good.
if anybody made it this long through our bullshit, think up a name for our new ranch.
Yeah.
Or not ranch.
This might be one of our longer ones, so it was good.
It was
Yes.
real good, dude.
Drop a
It's
like
moving.
and watch all the ads on this podcast so we can one day afford.
A racetrack.
ranch.
I was gonna say a NASCAR stadium.
I mean, it's honestly, you guys have been doing an awesome job. Thank you, everyone who keeps coming back. But if we can just keep the comments and the likes and everything going, I think we can keep growing this, and it'll be cool to see what happens with it. So,
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, you guys are here listening still. So new merch drop.
New
on
merch
Thursday.
drop Thursday. It's my birthday too, so just don't forget, okay?
All right.
Happy birthday, Mike.